how Trump became president. That's exactly what happened. We got rid of bullies, a real bully showed up, and nobody knew how to handle it.
Big thing, Trump, man, Trump, man. Trump had a good year, man.
Chris Rock delivered a performance that has sparked a fiery discussion across the nation, shaking the political and entertainment landscapes with a series of bold statements that left little room for ambiguity. The televised appearance was not just another stand-up routine, it was a moment that fused comedy with high-stakes political commentary in a way that few have dared to attempt. The performance was a masterful display of timing, wit, and biting social critique that took aim at the personal lives of those in the highest echelons of power, notably targeting the newly elected president and his wife in a manner that left audiences both shocked and amused. Before we start, smash the like and subscribe buttons for more updates. Throughout the hour-long set, Rock's delivery was imbued with a sense of urgency and calculated bravado. His approach was not to shy away from controversy, but rather to embrace it fully. Every word he spoke carried a weight that transcended the stage, venturing into a realm where comedy intersected with raw political insight. With a style that mixed humor with unfiltered observations, he dissected the dynamics of a marriage that has always been under public scrutiny, drawing attention to perceived hypocrisies and inconsistencies. His comments on the relationship, although delivered in the guise of satire, resonated with many viewers who see in his words an indictment of a broader political culture that prizes image over substance. The performance was marked by a relentless pace and an almost tangible intensity. Rock's onstage persona, which is often characterized by his quick wit and fearless demeanor, was elevated to new heights as he navigated sensitive topics with both candor and precision. He addressed the very foundations of what many believe to be a facade carefully maintained by public figures whose private lives are seldom scrutinized so openly. By challenging the narrative surrounding the president's personal life, Rock tapped into a broader sentiment that questions the authenticity of those who hold power. His delivery was not only a critique of the individual at the center of his barbs, but also an exploration of the underlying issues of trust, representation, and accountability in modern governance. The spectacle was not merely about generating laughs, it was an exploration of the role of satire in a highly polarized political environment. Rock's performance exemplified the notion that comedy can serve as a powerful tool for exposing contradictions and holding leaders accountable in ways that conventional political discourse might not allow. The way he weaved personal anecdotes with pointed commentary provided a layered narrative that went beyond surface-level humor. It was an intricate commentary on the duality of public personas versus private realities, urging the audience to reconsider the boundaries between personal integrity and political responsibility. In a performance that seamlessly blended humor with scathing political analysis, the comedian managed to capture the attention of a diverse audience. His observations about the institution of marriage, particularly the union between the president and his spouse, were laced with an ironic undertone that spoke to the disillusionment many feel towards political power structures. His insinuations regarding extramarital affairs, though presented through the lens of comedy, struck a nerve among those who have long suspected that the polished exterior of leadership might conceal a more complex and at times unsavory truth. The routine was a calculated risk, one that relied on the audience's willingness to engage with uncomfortable questions about fidelity, honesty, and the nature of public life. The broadcast itself became a cultural moment, not merely because of its humor, but due to its profound implications for the public's perception of political figures. Rock's unapologetic approach highlighted a growing trend in which entertainment and politics are becoming increasingly interwoven. The performance served as a microcosm of a larger societal shift towards valuing transparency and authenticity over carefully crafted images. In taking aim at the president's personal life, Rock effectively questioned the moral and ethical standards expected of those in power, challenging the status quo and encouraging a dialogue about what qualities truly deserve admiration and support. The intensity of the performance was amplified by the context in which it was delivered, a time of significant political transition and uncertainty. The newly elected president, whose tenure promises to be as controversial as it is consequential, found himself at the center of a media storm that extended far beyond policy debates. Rock's choice to focus on personal matters, such as the alleged infidelities and the stability of the marital bond, was a deliberate maneuver intended to shift the conversation from abstract political ideologies to the tangible human flaws of those who lead. The approach was both subversive and provocative, forcing viewers to confront the reality that leadership is not immune to the same imperfections that affect everyday relationships. The performance was a vivid demonstration of how personal narratives can become a battlefield for political debate. By scrutinizing the private life of a public figure, Rock underscored a fundamental tension in modern politics: the expectation of moral perfection versus the reality of human imperfection. His remarks, though wrapped in humor, were a potent reminder that the personal and the political are inextricably linked. The insinuations regarding infidelity and the challenges of sustaining a public marriage were not simply attacks on character. They were an invitation to question the broader societal norms that allow such discrepancies between public image and personal conduct to flourish. In this way, the routine served as a mirror, reflecting the disillusionment of a populace that is increasingly aware of the dichotomy between the ideals espoused by its leaders and the reality of their actions. The language of the performance was both poetic and unyielding, carrying an emotional resonance that reached beyond the immediate shock value of the subject matter. Rock's narrative was meticulously crafted to draw parallels between the fragility of personal relationships and the instability of political alliances. His discourse suggested that the same dynamics that can fracture a marriage are at work in the corridors of power, where alliances are often built on superficial charm and sustained by mutual interest rather than genuine commitment. In doing so, he painted a picture of political life that is as volatile and unpredictable as personal relationships, where loyalty is as fickle as public opinion and betrayal lurks just beneath the surface. At the heart of the performance was a deep-seated commentary on the nature of accountability. In the realm of comedy, there is a long-standing tradition of using humor as a means to challenge authority, and Rock's routine was a modern iteration of this time-honored practice. By openly accusing the president of engaging in extramarital affairs and questioning the integrity of his marriage, he was not merely entertaining the audience. He was engaging in a form of social critique that has historically been the province of comedians and satirists. His performance was a declaration that no one, regardless of their stature, is beyond reproach. It was a call to hold those in power to the same standards of honesty and integrity that are expected in the private sphere, thereby blurring the lines between personal morality and public duty. The implications of this performance extend far beyond the realm of entertainment. It raised profound questions about the role of personal behavior in shaping political legitimacy. When the private actions of leaders come under public scrutiny in such a visceral manner, it challenges the very notion of a separate personal life for those who govern. The routine invited viewers to reflect on the ways in which personal indiscretions can undermine public trust and destabilize the foundations of democratic governance. In highlighting these issues, Rock's performance became a catalyst for a broader conversation about the qualities that should define effective leadership in an era marked by rapid change and heightened scrutiny of public figures. The event also sparked an examination of the cultural and societal forces that shape our understanding of marriage and fidelity. The scrutiny of the president's marital relationship was not an isolated phenomenon. It is part of a larger cultural narrative that interrogates the sanctity and resilience of personal bonds in the modern world. Rock's incisive commentary tapped into a vein of collective skepticism, questioning whether the ideals of monogamy and marital fidelity remain relevant in an age where personal success is often measured by the ability to navigate complex social and professional landscapes. His performance challenged traditional conceptions of marriage, suggesting that the pressures of public life can strain even the most carefully constructed unions, and that the personal failings of leaders can have far-reaching implications for societal norms. The style of the delivery was both engaging and confrontational, with Rock's words slicing through the complacency that often characterizes political discourse. The televised performance was a masterclass in the art of provocation, designed to unsettle as much as it entertained. His observations were not merely whimsical jabs, but were anchored in a broader critique of the cultural and political systems that enable and even encourage such behavior. By dissecting the intricacies of a high-profile marriage with such surgical precision, Rock forced viewers to confront the reality that behind every public persona lies a web of personal choices, many of which are fraught with ethical and moral ambiguity. This exploration of the intersection between the personal and the political served as a reminder that the lives of public figures are not immune to the same pitfalls that afflict ordinary individuals, regardless of their elevated status. A key aspect of the performance was its timing and the context in which it was delivered. With the nation in the throes of a contentious political transition, every word spoken on live television carried additional weight. The fact that Rock chose this particular moment to address issues that had long been simmering beneath the surface added a layer of immediacy to his performance. The decision to focus on personal matters at such a critical juncture was not merely a matter of style, it was a deliberate strategy to humanize the political process by exposing the vulnerabilities of those who wield power. The performance served as a poignant reminder that political leadership is as much about character and personal integrity as it is about policy and rhetoric. The conversational cadence of Rock's monologue, marked by its rhythmic pacing and deliberate pauses, allowed each point to resonate with the audience. His delivery was both an exhibition of his comedic prowess and a demonstration of his ability to capture the complexities of contemporary political life. The narrative was rich with layers of meaning, inviting viewers to look beyond the surface-level humor and engage with the deeper implications of his commentary. His ability to draw parallels between the dynamics of a troubled marriage and the precarious nature of political alliances underscored the fragility of power in a world where trust and authenticity are in short supply. The imagery evoked during the performance was both vivid and unsettling, painting a picture of a political landscape riddled with contradictions and moral ambiguities. The comparisons drawn between personal betrayal and political deception resonated on a subconscious level, challenging conventional ideas about loyalty and commitment. The performance was a bold exploration of the idea that the personal failings of leaders are not isolated incidents but are symptomatic of a larger systemic issue. In highlighting the imperfections of a highly publicized marriage, Rock indirectly questioned the efficacy of a political system that seems increasingly disconnected from the realities of human behavior. Throughout the performance, there was a palpable tension between the laughter that erupted from the audience and the serious undercurrent of his critique. The humor served as a vehicle for delivering hard-hitting observations about the state of contemporary politics, allowing him to skirt the edges of propriety while still conveying a powerful message. The performance operated on multiple levels, simultaneously as a piece of entertainment, a political statement, and a social commentary, each layer enriching the overall impact of his words. The deliberate choice to intertwine personal criticism with broader political implications challenged the audience to reconsider the boundaries between personal morality and public accountability. The artistic merit of the performance lies in its ability to encapsulate the essence of modern political satire. It is a rare feat to combine humor with a level of incisiveness that compels viewers to reflect on the deeper issues at play. The performance did not rely on cheap tricks or recycled tropes. Instead, it presented a fresh perspective on issues that have long been shrouded in a veneer of political correctness. Rock's dissection of a high-profile marriage and his bold insinuations regarding extramarital affairs were delivered with a confidence that underscored the inherent absurdity of expecting flawless conduct from those in positions of power. His words served as a stark reminder that the personal imperfections of leaders are not merely fodder for tabloid headlines, but are indicative of systemic challenges that require a more honest appraisal of what constitutes effective and ethical leadership. The cultural reverberations of the performance are multifaceted and far-reaching. It has ignited a dialogue about the nature of political accountability in an era when public figures are increasingly held to standards that transcend traditional expectations of decorum. The examination of a personal relationship on such a public platform forces a reckoning with the ways in which personal narratives are constructed and deconstructed in the public eye. It invites viewers to question the legitimacy of a system that often prioritizes image over substance, prompting a broader conversation about the criteria by which leaders are evaluated. The performance, in its unflinching portrayal of a personal failing, challenges the notion that private lives should remain sacrosanct, arguing instead that transparency is a necessary ingredient in a healthy democracy. In the grand tapestry of political satire, this performance stands out as a defining moment that bridges the gap between comedy and political discourse. It is a demonstration of how humor can serve as a powerful lens through which to examine the contradictions of modern leadership. The deliberate interweaving of personal critique with broader political implications reflects a sophisticated understanding of the interplay between individual behavior and systemic issues. The narrative constructed on stage was not one of simple mockery, but rather a carefully orchestrated commentary on the precarious nature of power in a society where the personal and the political are inextricably linked. The event was emblematic of a broader cultural shift, where audiences are increasingly receptive to forms of expression that challenge established narratives. The performance underscored the idea that the realm of political commentary need not be confined to dry debates or formal discourses. Instead, it can be infused with the vitality and immediacy of live entertainment. In doing so, it not only entertained but also educated, prompting viewers to consider the implications of a leadership style that is as much about personal image as it is about policy substance. The unfolding drama on stage served as a reminder that the personal lives of those in power are not immune from scrutiny, and that the quest for truth and accountability often begins with the willingness to confront uncomfortable realities. The stylistic choices made during the performance, marked by rapid-fire delivery, nuanced irony, and a deliberate pacing that allowed each remark to linger, demonstrated a mastery of the art of public speaking. It was a performance that transcended mere entertainment, inviting the audience to engage with complex ideas about morality, integrity, and the responsibilities of leadership. The interplay between humor and critical commentary created a dynamic environment in which every laugh was interwoven with a moment of introspection, a call to examine the deeper truths that underlie the facade of political power. The performance was as much a reflection of contemporary societal anxieties as it was a celebration of the unyielding spirit of free expression. In its uncompromising critique of a widely publicized marriage and its bold allegations regarding personal indiscretions, the performance has etched itself into the annals of political satire. It is a vivid illustration of how comedy can serve as a mirror, reflecting back the complexities and contradictions of a society grappling with the demands of modern governance. The routine forced the audience to confront the reality that the personal failings of leaders, however salacious or embarrassing they may be, are integral to understanding the nature of power in a democratic society. By exposing the vulnerabilities that lie beneath the surface of a seemingly unassailable political figure, the performance challenged conventional wisdom and invited a broader debate on the qualities that truly define effective leadership. The impact of the performance is likely to be felt for some time, as it raises questions about the boundaries of political discourse and the role of personal narrative in shaping public opinion. The deliberate focus on the intimate details of a high-profile marriage has the potential to reshape the conversation about what is considered acceptable behavior in the corridors of power. The performance invites a re-evaluation of the ways in which personal ethics and public responsibilities intersect, suggesting that the integrity of a leader cannot be separated from the integrity of their private life. This nuanced perspective forces viewers to grapple with the idea that transparency, even in matters of personal conduct, is essential to the functioning of a vibrant and accountable political system. The narrative that unfolded on stage was a testament to the enduring power of comedy as a vehicle for social critique. It was an event that transcended traditional boundaries, blending humor with hard-hitting political commentary in a manner that is both entertaining and thought-provoking. The performance did more than simply elicit laughter. It provoked a deep, introspective dialogue about the nature of power, the responsibilities of leadership, and the enduring relevance of personal integrity in the public sphere. In doing so, it carved out a space for a new form of political discourse, one that acknowledges the complexity of human behavior and the inherent challenges of reconciling personal ambition with the demands of public service. The energy and intensity of the performance continue to reverberate as a symbol of the evolving relationship between politics and popular culture. It has ignited discussions that go beyond the immediate shock value of its content, delving into the broader implications of how personal narratives are constructed and perceived in the public arena. The performance stands as a vivid testament to the idea that humor, when delivered with precision and insight, has the power to challenge established norms and prompt a reassessment of what truly matters in leadership. It is a moment that encapsulates the spirit of a generation increasingly unwilling to accept the sanitized versions of public life that are presented to them, demanding instead an unvarnished look at the realities of power and the human imperfections that accompany it. In a cultural moment defined by rapid change and heightened scrutiny, the performance emerges as a bold declaration of the need for honesty and accountability in every facet of life, whether public or private. It reinforces the notion that the personal lives of those who hold power are not mere collateral in the pursuit of political gain, but are in fact reflective of deeper truths about the character and values that guide their decisions. Through an unrelenting blend of humor and incisive commentary, the event has challenged viewers to recognize that the discrepancies between public image and private behavior are not just individual failings, but are symptomatic of a broader crisis of authenticity in leadership. The raw energy that fueled the performance, combined with its unabashed willingness to confront taboo subjects, has left an indelible mark on the cultural and political discourse of our time. It serves as a reminder that the intersection of comedy and politics is a potent arena for change, a space where the unfiltered truth can be revealed under the guise of humor, compelling audiences to engage with issues that might otherwise remain hidden behind carefully constructed facades. The legacy of this televised performance is one of bold inquiry, where the boundaries of acceptable discourse were pushed to their limits, challenging both political figures and the public alike to reconsider the standards by which they measure integrity and leadership. In every sense, the performance was a landmark moment, a vivid exploration of the intersection between the personal and the political, and an unyielding call for transparency in the realm of public life. The insights delivered on stage transcend mere entertainment, offering a profound commentary on the challenges of maintaining authenticity in an era where public personas are meticulously curated. The performance stands as a testament to the enduring power of humor, to not only expose the contradictions inherent in modern leadership, but also to inspire a deeper, more critical examination of the values that underpin our political and social systems. Chris Rock's televised performance is an intricate tapestry of humor, critique, and cultural commentary, woven together to create an unforgettable moment in political satire. It challenges conventional narratives and confronts the audience with the uncomfortable reality that even the highest echelons of power are not immune to the frailties and complexities of human nature. The implications of his words extend far beyond the immediate laughter they provoked. They serve as a clarion call for a more authentic, accountable, and transparent approach to leadership, one where personal integrity is recognized as integral to public trust and where the pursuit of truth is valued above the preservation of an idealized image. In the wake of that provocative display, a new narrative began to emerge, one that illuminated the shifting boundaries of humor in a politically charged climate. The performance evolved into a catalyst for redefining the role of stand-up comedy as a mirror for societal values and the intricate dance between celebrity and power. With a fresh perspective on the evolution of public discourse, observers noted that this event encapsulated a broader transformation where traditional hierarchies of respect and deference are no longer immune to the incisive critique of art. It fostered an environment in which humor itself could be seen as a form of dissent, a subtle yet potent reminder that no one is above scrutiny. A renewed focus on the aesthetics of performance art became apparent as the show unfolded with a level of sophistication rarely witnessed in political commentary. Beyond the surface-level shock, the creative process behind the delivery was scrutinized for its innovative use of timing and narrative structure. The performance was dissected not only as a piece of entertainment, but as a meticulously orchestrated expression of modern political dissent. The techniques employed evoked an atmosphere of raw intensity, challenging the audience to perceive satire as a transformative tool capable of unveiling the contradictions embedded within established power dynamics. As viewers absorbed the layers of meaning embedded in the act, Intellectual debates proliferated around the idea of personal vulnerability in the realm of public life. This moment in televised history came to represent a broader inquiry into the implicit expectations placed on leaders and public figures. In a cultural context marked by rapid technological advances and the pervasive reach of social media, the lines separating private existence from public responsibility have become increasingly blurred. The performance was reinterpreted as an emblem of that erosion, inviting a closer examination of how public personas are constructed and ultimately deconstructed by the relentless pace of modern communication. A parallel discourse unfolded in academic circles where the interplay between art and politics was rigorously debated. Scholars began to explore the significance of comedy as an avant-garde strategy in challenging entrenched ideologies. This analysis underscored that the performance was less an isolated incident and more a reflection of a growing trend where unconventional forms of political critique are embraced as essential contributions to democratic dialogue. This scholarly perspective lent credence to the notion that humor, when employed with precision and daring, can act as a conduit for meaningful societal transformation, encouraging citizens to question established narratives and demand greater accountability from those in power. Cultural critics also emphasized the importance of the aesthetic choices made during the performance, highlighting how visual cues and stage presence work in tandem with verbal wit to communicate subversive messages. These critics argued that the nuanced interplay between style and substance in the act provided a compelling argument for the fusion of creative expression and political activism. They observed that the performance succeeded in capturing a zeitgeist defined by skepticism toward conventional authority and a yearning for a more authentic form of leadership. This artistic maneuver not only reconfigured the way political figures are perceived, but also challenged the audience to reassess the criteria by which integrity is measured in the public sphere. Moreover, the event instigated a ripple effect that extended into discussions about the future of political satire. As the performance was dissected across various media platforms, it became clear that its impact was multidimensional. Conversations emerged about the balance between provocation and responsibility in public discourse, igniting debates about where the limits of acceptable critique lie. In this evolving landscape, the performance was celebrated not only for its boldness, but for its contribution to redefining the contours of political engagement. It inspired a new generation of performers and commentators to embrace a more radical form of expression that prioritized truth and transparency over sanitized rhetoric. The performance not only redefined the boundaries of political satire, but also introduced an entirely new lexicon of cultural resistance. It unveiled an unconventional framework in which humor became a bridge between personal expression and collective dissent. This artistic experiment challenged the traditional separation between political rhetoric and everyday life, encouraging the audience to reimagine the function of entertainment in public discourse. The interplay of performance and ideology created a space where raw emotion and intellectual rigor coexisted, inspiring audiences to think critically about societal hierarchies and the distribution of power. A fresh paradigm emerged from this display, one where the essence of artistic rebellion was used to probe deeper questions of identity and morality. The act was a clarion call that dismantled outdated conventions and spotlighted a more authentic, unsanitized dialogue between citizens and their leaders. Its innovation lay in merging performative art with a call for introspection, leading viewers to explore the complexities of responsibility, legitimacy, and the multifaceted nature of human relationships in positions of influence. In this new cultural moment, the boundaries of acceptable commentary were redrawn, suggesting that the roles of artist and activist might converge. The creative approach unveiled an unexpected dimension of satire, one that was not solely confined to humorous exaggeration, but also carried a contemplative weight capable of shifting public perspectives. This evolution of artistic expression signifies a broader transformation in societal expectations, where the fusion of creative energy and political engagement challenges established norms and paves the way for progressive change. The performance continues to serve as a beacon for those who view art as a dynamic and essential medium for questioning authority and forging a more transparent social narrative. If you like this video, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel. Also, leave your comments below and tell us, What are your thoughts on Chris Rock's comments about Trump and Melania's marriage? We want to hear from you. Thank you for watching and see you next time.